difficult to believe that there would be free elections in the northern part.
Right.
And you have the Tamil National Alliance, which is actually won against the so-called official entity which was created. And this gentleman has been going around making absolutely independent noises. And it holds a lot of hope for the future.
Okay.
So there is a certain amount of movement, but I think far certain amount of pressure which can be brought on the government in Sri Lanka, in Colombo, could yield, I think, more results.
Okay, but Dr. Manoharan, clearly in the last 4 years, the Sri Lankan government has taken many steps. As we've discussed, there have been elections, there have been steps to rebuild the northern province, but at the same time we see this Sinhala national triumphalism on display.
See, that is there in every aspect. For instance, Mahinda Rajapaksa, soon after the war, he outlined what was known as 4Ds, which is anyway forgotten now. Number 1D or D1 was called as demilitarization. So under demilitarization, what he said was, after the war, yes, we'll try and put every militaryman into barracks and then try and desecuritize the zones. But in his sense, what he had in mind was demilitarization means to actually neutralize the rest of the remnants, LTT remnants, and make sure that LTT doesn't come back to power. And he later argued that demilitarization, I didn't mean putting military into barracks.
Okay.
So that's what the concept. Then the second D of development. So he argued that development is there is no ethnic issue, there was only developmental issue. So you address development, so there is no, like this kind of demands would not come.
All right.
Then he envisaged Sri Lanka as Singapore of South Asia and things like that. He invited a lot of investments and so on and so forth. But when you see in reality what is the Sinhalese developed or Tamils developed, so there is a big gap there in terms of development. So there is a big developmental gap in terms of Tamils' livelihood, employment, resettlement, education, and so on and so forth. So the second or D2 is also in a big question. Then D3 is the democratization. What he says was, we'll give voice to all these people. He didn't specify he's going to give political voice to Tamils. So we'll give political voice to everybody. So he ended up conducting premature presidential elections, parliament elections so far, but he didn't actually conduct provincial elections to North, which came only after 20-25 years. Of course, he conducted Eastern provincial elections because that has a mixed demography, Muslims, Tamils, and Sinhalese, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So his own party or majority or his party which is sided to him forms government. He very much know well that he's not going to anyway, which is proved in the last month's election, that he's not going to anyway win. So that is the only province the present United People's Freedom Alliance doesn't have government. That's the only province. The rest 9 province is ruled by the President Rajapaksa's alliance. So that you got to take note of. So in terms of even the democratization, there is a big question there. The final D of devolution. When somebody asked him whether you prioritize in the same way, yes, this 4D or devolution D comes last. So which means he hasn't actually moved forward. What did he actually do in terms of devolution? Yes, national this reconciliation LLRC was formed and its recommendation, its own recommendations.
Right.
Out of 18 members, only 1 Tamil, 1 Muslim. The rest are all Sinhalese. They recommended that recommendation was not. And in the last UNHRC conference in Geneva, it has to take a chance and vote against, not against, vote in favor of US resolution. So that was, so even their own committee, they were not willing to actually implement. So devolution, when you take devolution forward, even 13th Amendment, they were not willing to actually implement, which is very, very easy. That has been there from 1987. Other provinces are enjoying. Why not the northern province? This was actually created as a symmetrical devolution, not asymmetrical devolution. There is a difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical. Asymmetrical means some community or some province will have an extra or more powers, but that is not there. Sri Lanka was divided into 9 provinces that time. Later it became 10. Every province, all southern provinces, Sinhala provinces, everybody having same kind of powers as North. So my point is, why not give more powers to all the provinces?
Okay.
Let every province enjoy, let every province develop. So that is where I think Sinhala leaders also have to sell this to their own people, saying that it is not asymmetrical devolution, it is a symmetrical devolution. Power, whatever I am giving 1 rupee to North means I am giving 1 rupee to you as well, I am not giving 2 to them. So that's where they have to sell, which they are not willing to sell. So this is where all the 4Ds outlined by President Rajapaksa, they are in big question.
Alright, so you're saying just holding elections in the northern province is not enough. President Rajapaksa must deliver on his promise of implementing the 4Ds, which includes demilitarization and devolution as well. On that note, it's time for me to take a break in the program. Stay with us. We'll be back with the final segment of the show.